short sales.
We are talking short sales today. Matter of fact, we're going to talk about why do a short sale instead of foreclosure on the bank's perspective and the homeowner's perspective.
You know, from the homeowner's perspective, it's amazing to me. The short sales have been going on for a long time now. Quite a while.
Yeah, a couple hours.
Couple
today
hours
already.
At least.
Yeah.
But I actually had a call from a homeowner just the other day and said, you know what, I was actually talking to a friend of ours. I was actually talking to he was a retired accountant.
Okay.
Because you know what, there's no reason to do a short sale. You should just foreclose.
None whatsoever.
And that, after all that's been out there, that really shocked me. And not only that, I got some updated stats from CDP last week. The guys out there put some interesting information out that was saying when we started all of this, and short sales were coming and there was a lot of foreclosures going on, the one stat that blew me away, completely blew me away, was that 7 out of 10 homeowners that get foreclosed on never spoke to anyone to try and figure out what their options were.
Yeah.
7 out of 10. You would think, I would think, that after all this time, that number would go down.
You would think so.
It's gone up.
Right.
82% of the foreclosures now, that homeowner never spoke to anyone about any of their options. And I still think there's a myth out there on why go ahead and do this. The banks would rather foreclose, and for the homeowner, there's no difference. Go ahead and foreclose. And it couldn't be further from the truth in both instances. The banks don't want to foreclose.
Well, for the most part, no. They don't want to foreclose. And again, if we humanize this, if they borrow the money from grandma, grandma doesn't want to have to go through the hassle to foreclose, to kick you out of the house, and then take responsibility for that property to try to get rid of it to recoup some type of money from her original investment.
Right.
Right. So that's one reason that they absolutely should look at a short sale as an alternative. Now, each person has a different situation, so we can't say that short sales for everyone. I mean, the deed in lieu might be for someone, or
right.
vacate might be for someone, and we've talked about all these topics, and we will continue to talk about them because they constantly change. They
right.
do. I mean, they're constantly changing. So, in the bank's perspective, why are we seeing in today's market that there's not as many foreclosures happening? So that the scales have tipped. A couple of years ago, it was all foreclosure, foreclosure, foreclosure. Couldn't get a short sale through. It took us months to get the
right.
bank to understand. Now it's the opposite. We've got clients right now that actually want the bank to foreclose, and the bank won't foreclose. Why do you think that is?
Well, there's a huge reason on why that is. Huge is in dollars. Dollars and cents, once again. If you look at it, the amount of money it costs a bank to foreclose is quite a lot.
Right, but I mean, aren't they paying loss mitigators to mitigate a short sale? It's costing them money there too, right?
Yeah, it is, but it's a different type of thing. In fact, again, numbers just from last week. I believe within a couple of thousand here, the average sales price nationwide of a short sale, successful short sale property was $267,000. Okay. The average price of a standard sale was only at $281,000. So
right.
The difference between a standard sale and a short sale, that gap was pretty small. If you look at a distressed REO, the worst kind of REO, a distressed REO, the average sales price nationwide of a distressed REO was $102,000.
So they're losing more money.
They're losing a lot more money. Not only that, what bank isn't being sued by the attorney generals of every single state right now for wrongful foreclosure?
Right. Robo-signing. I'm so tired of hearing about robo-signing, robo-signing, robo-signing. Yes, it did happen, but it doesn't affect every single deed across the country.
Maybe they should send in RoboCop to take care of robo-signing.
Maybe we should start roboshortsales.com.
That might be the answer right there.
We'll just have one of those little androids that just stamps everything.
Just constantly, away we go. So the bottom line is the banks are losing a whole lot more money. As a matter, I think we touched on this last week. Chase, if it's a portfolio loan, meaning they own it,
right.
It's their money. It's their money. They're actually offering those homeowners up to $35,000 to go through a short sale.
Yeah, and it seems like it keeps increasing.
It does keep increasing.
$3,000, $6,000, $12,000, now $30,000. And like you said, it saves them money. It takes responsibility off the bank's hands when they go to resell the property if there's problems in the future, though they sell it as is. Now, for a homeowner, why is it beneficial? And I know we could talk about this for probably, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours right now. Why is it beneficial for a homeowner to do a short sale? Well, the number one reason is is because of the fact that in the event of a short sale, when they get 1099, it's going to be much less than a foreclosure.
Right, based upon the numbers we just provided.
Yeah, just on those, look at those numbers. And a CPA, don't get me wrong, and now if there's a CPA watching this, feel free to email me and call me, because I'd really be happy to have a conversation with you about this, because I've heard the same thing. I've had 3 clients, 3 sellers this week come in and say, you know, Troy, I think I'm not going to list my property as a short sale because my accountant, who's probably Bob the plumber and an electrician and a ditch digger all in one, okay, said, it doesn't make any difference on your taxes. Just let it go. Just let it go to foreclosure. That's what everyone else is doing.
Well, you know, the only reason they're saying that is because of the Mortgage Debt Forgiveness Act.
Yeah, because
that's it. Okay, that's the only reason they're saying it. But that act is only in effect until December 31st, 2012.
Well, then that's why they're telling them to do it now.
And that's why they're telling them to do it now. The funny thing is, the way the banks are right now, if you decided to let your home go right now, it may not be done by December 31st, 2012, because they're going to come back and say, we'd rather you do a short sale, and we're going to pay you to do the short sale.
They better have a plan for 2015.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, but the other thing out there too is there is no doubt in my mind whatsoever that the stigma attached to foreclosure is nowhere near as great as it was just a few years ago.
Right.
You know, it almost became, I don't know, chic at the neighborhood barbecue. Oh, I had a foreclosure. You know, it's almost as though the new car they just got. I mean, it's completely changed on something that was just taboo and no to it's not that bad. But nevertheless, anytime you go forward, there's a question on a loan application.
Always.
Have you ever had a property foreclosed on? You always have to answer that yes. It doesn't say anything about a short sale. It asks you if you ever had that property foreclosed on.
Right.
It's going to stick with you longer. It's going to be a much greater hit to your credit. And short sale's a more dignified solution, as we like to say. The most important thing on that is, like you just said, it's not going to fit everybody. But what I'm finding is there's many people out there, when they're at the end of their rope, they don't know what to do. Going through a short sale, they participate in the process from beginning to end.
Yep.
If nothing else, they feel as though they contributed. They did everything they can to work their situation out.
That's right. And I think, again, when we humanize things, we look at an individual that just threw their hands in the air and they don't care anymore, and they walked away because they were trying to screw the bank, right? Ha, 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 ha. And then, in hindsight, you have someone else that is doing everything they can to try to avoid the foreclosure and participate. And basically, you know, they took the money, both of these scenarios, took the money from the bank to buy this home. One individual saying, you know, screw the bank, and the other individual saying, listen, I know I borrowed the money, and I'm really sorry, but life happened, and I simply can't pay this money back. Can we come to some type of agreement? I'm a firm believer in karma, and I truly believe that not only has the law shown that this person over here that was foreclosed on takes longer to get a loan, and may not ever get a loan, quite possibly, this person over here within as little as 2 years can get a loan. Okay, that they're then forgiven. It's life in general. You make a mistake, you raise your hand, you say, I totally screwed up, I made a mistake, and life tends to go on much easier.
Exactly.
You just go, F you to the whole world, then what you're throwing out usually comes back. I know I'm getting all like philosophical on you here, but I'm a firm believer in that.
You know, it's all true. The bottom line is there are several options available. I mean, there's different options and there's different scenarios for every single person out there. Don't be one of the statistics. Find out what your options are. If you're talking to an agent that says the only option you have is to sell your house and you don't believe that's the best option for you, talk to another agent.
Yep.
Because most of the time, I know when I go in and talk to anyone, I know when you talk to anyone, we explore every single option. Can your loan be restructured? Is a modification going to work for you? Is that even a possibility? Okay, how far behind are you? Maybe a deed in lieu is your answer. You've got to get with someone that can lay all of the information out so that you can make the absolute best decision possible for you and your family and your situation.
Yeah, the key is to be educated. The key is to turn over every rock to understand what path you're going to go down. And then pick that path and execute it, engage in it.
Exactly. Love your feedback, love your comments. Find us online, www.s2neg.com.
Thanks for stopping by.